Oh yeah, this is the best room. It smells so good.
So the first place we're gonna stop at is the machine room.
Man, Martin Mulch. Hey, I think we just started a side business.
That's an 1833 shop right there.
There you go, Martin Mulch. I think a lot of people don't realize how much detail handwork goes in the construction of guitars.
You may not be able to record this because the clamping procedure we have here is very, very top secret.
Wow. Oh wow, man! I'm such an Elliott Smith fan. I mean, I love Nirvana too. Oh, it does. Yes, it does smell sweet. Oh, it smells like baby powders. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are well rested, or whatever time or wherever you are in the world. We are headed to Martin Guitars here in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful day. This is the second time I've done this. I was here actually last May. So yesterday we were at PRS handpicking woods for private stocks. We built, I believe, 12 or 15. Beautiful, beautiful private stocks. They have an incredible wood selection. And the same is true for Martin. Martin's wood selection is pretty outstanding. It's pretty ridiculous. Super excited. Let's begin part 2 of this guitar building road trip. This is Jason, who's very awesome. Are you cool with being on camera?
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
sweet. This is the Martin Museum. And I've been here before. There are amazing, beautiful guitars in here, but there's one guitar in here that it's just, whoa. You wanna hold that? Oh. Wow.
There we go.
So this is Grandpa. So this was, can you tell me the story about this guitar? Hey everybody, real quick. Of everyone that watches this channel, 89% of you are not subscribed. These videos take a ton of time and a lot of effort, so if you would please just hit the subscribe button and also please like, that would be so appreciated. Back to the video.
All right, so it starts with Mary Lou Lord.
Yes.
So she was a folk musician.
In Boston.
In Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So she became friends with Kurt Cobain, was a fan of early Nirvana, knew they were playing in the area, they hit it off, and she had this guitar, and she knew he needed a guitar for the Nevermind tour. So she ends up giving it to him. They both called it Grandpa because it was old and beat up, they love the guitar. And so, he keeps it for a while. And then eventually, as time goes on, he meets Courtney Love, and she's like, oh, it's a cool guitar, where'd you get it?
Yeah.
And he was like, from Mary Lou, and she's like, well, you have to give it back. So he ends up giving it back to Mary Lou. Then Kurt buys the D-18E that he used in Unplugged. Mm-hmm. She ends up meeting Elliott Smith, gives him the guitar, and then Elliott uses it for a while. And then eventually, after what happened to both of them, she thought the guitar was cursed. So she ends up selling it, and then we end up acquiring it after that.
Wow. Oh wow, man! I'm such an Elliott Smith fan. I mean, I love Nirvana too. Can I sit down?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Unbelievable. Thank you, man. Sure, yeah. Oh, wow. Holy smokes, man. Like, I've seen some really amazing guitars. We've had incredible guitars come through the shop. Like we have Gary Rossington's guitars that we're curating, you know, and you know, and a lot of folks will come in who love Skinnerd, and they're just like breathing the way I am right now, you know. But that's this. I love Elliott so much. See, I can't even speak English. What a trip. I mean, that era when he would have owned this guitar was like Figure Eight. It was, I mean, some of his best work. Yeah. I mean, well, all of his work, pretty much. So there you go. Grandpa. So Mary sold this back to Martin because she thought it was cursed.
Well, she didn't sell it to us. She sold it to a dealer of ours who then auctioned it, and then we acquired it at the auction.
Oh, right. Yeah, wait. Yeah. Is this the one that went for crazy money?
No.
No, that was the unplugged guitar.
That was the unplugged guitar that sold for $6 million in 2020, yeah.
It was a D-18?
D-18E, so it had the 2 pickups in it.
The 1958, right?
59. The
1959, yep. That's right. The 1959, because it was only done in 1 year, right?
Yeah, pretty much, because they didn't really sell that well, so.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we had one in who I sold to an artist who I'll tell you, not on camera, but someone who is an appropriate owner of that guitar.
Okay, cool.
What a joy, man. Thank you so much.
Sure.
That is incredible. You want to play it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Graham Nash. Yeah,
Graham
Nash, that's one that we acquired recently.
So much history. And the fact that I just got to play that guitar blows my mind.
And then I wrote it on came in.
So this is the museum. A quick glance. Quick glimpse. Well, one of the things I love is it's very open here, and the lighting isn't punishing. You have windows. Like it seems like a very nice place to work. Yeah, that's what I felt last year when I came here. I was like, man, this place is really cool.
I mean, and you know, you'll find people wearing shorts and t-shirts all year long because every single day, whether it's 90 degrees outside or 12 degrees outside, it's always 72, 45 here.
Yeah. 72
degrees, 45% humidity, so it's always comfortable in here. So the first place we're gonna stop at is the machine room. An old factory with CF II, and then Frank Henry as a young man, which is Chris's grandfather, the guy with the glasses.
Oh, all the way at the end?
All the way at the end, yeah.
Oh, that's Chris's grandfather. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see the similarity.
Yep. Smell great?
Oh, it's the best.
So later on, when you guys are doing your wood selection, you're actually going to go into the vault, which is on the other side of that brick wall. On the other side of that brick wall is where we have all of our wood storage for the production in the plant. We have wood stored in many different locations, but it is being acclimated over there, getting it ready to the proper moisture level before it moves over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you see here are a multitude of machines, and if you were here 35, 40 years ago, there would have been a lot more table saws and routers, and now there are CNC machines upon CNC machines. Now, behind there's still some table saws and there's still some routers, but most of the work is being done on about 4 or 5 different CNC machines, and this one right in front of us is a 5-axis CNC, so that allows us to do a lot of different things. In fact, you can see all the necks that have been cut and banded right here. Yeah. Those are rough sawn in the sawmill down there. Those blanks will be put on the CNC, and they'll cut about 95% of the neck, and then the rest will be finished by hand.
Yeah.
What you see below us is the gluing of backs and fronts on the table. They go in these vices. Glue is set. An operator will combine them together. They're like a torque, so they're not over tightened. And generally, as that rotates around once, the glue is dried, so they can take that off and set it, so they can continue to work all day. Over here we have sanding machines that are connected back to back, and that gets the parts, both back, sides, tops, to the correct thickness we need to begin the process. It's a machine room for wood. And yet, have you seen any sawdust? No. This room has got a state-of-the-art dust collection system. You can see it in all the pipes go everywhere, and the temperature is monitored all the time, because our biggest fear here, obviously, is a fire. And that's part of the reason why it's also separated from the rest of the main building. If the temperature in the stack gets any concern, we're notified right away and we can take care of it. But all of this is pumped out into a compactor. It compresses the sawdust into the size of like a coffee can, and we sell it to the local cement plant. So it's a reusable resource. They burn it to make cement.
Yeah. I would love to take some of the less fine particles and use it as mulch in my yard. Man, Martin Mulch. Hey, I think we just started a side business.
That's an 1833 shop right there.
There you go, Martin Mulch.
So then the parts come in and they go up this elevator, and that's where we'll pick our next part of the tour. Look at this.
Oh, no way. When did that start? Right now.
That brings up parts from the elevator and brings it to an operator at their station, and they'll unload it. They'll fill it with refuse and they'll bring it down to go. That just helps we have a human being that can do other things. That's technology that moves that product back and forth. We have two of them, goes back and forth. So what we do is we start here at the candling. You saw downstairs where we take two pieces of wood, glue them together. Now we have to take a look, and this started, they call it candling because they actually did that. They put a candle behind the wood so you can see the light. What you're looking for are very small wormholes, pinholes that obviously you can see under light. Because if you don't, what you don't want to do is be in the construction, have a full body completed, start to sand it, and then it shows itself, right? So this lady's doing it. Obviously her lights are a lot brighter, but based on that, she has a bunch of templates. You can see all the plexiglass templates there, because depending upon where a blemish might be, we obviously want to try to do dreadnought or jumbo first, and we're not going to waste the resource, so we'll take it all the way down to a ukulele if we have to, based on where the defect might be. And then this is where the serial number starts. Okay. So she picks a D, triple O, OM, whatever it is, serial number is started, and that's where the guitar starts. So then we come over, and that square is put on the laser cutter, and that laser burns the opening in it. All of the sawdust and the smoke gets sucked out, and then obviously it's got the tooling ears on it that help us reference it. He knows exactly where to set it up. Oh no, there you go. Thank you.
Might have stepped on the mat.
Oh, I probably did. You see the smoke being sucked right up? Look how fast that was. So people say, well, I thought Martin was handmade, and we're like, it is. This top is not done, right? The ears still have to be cut off, the sound hole still has to be put in, the rosetting still has to be done. You just saw the rosetting done by hand. However, this makes our consistency better. Yeah. Once the top is cut, the machine in the back there, just a one-axis CNC machine, that will cut in the different grooves based on whether it's a 18 series, 15 series, or maybe even a high-end 45. That looks like he's putting together potentially a 28 top.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how much detail, handwork goes into the construction of guitars, which is what I love about our industry. It's still very analog, even though you need some modernization, to keep up with production. But at the end of the day,
well, when you see the design there, right, they're all individual thicknesses and colors.
Oh yeah.
So the craftsperson knows what he's got to pull out based on the order of the wood.
Oh,
Puts in just enough glue. And this is just an example board of some top and back bracing. This is one that has regular bracing on it, all right? And then this is another example of scallop bracing. We have a variety of different bracing patterns, but this is just to give everybody an idea. Same thing with the backs. We also have a 3-piece back, right? So 3-piece would be for a D-35, or like the Inception, and there's a 3-piece back, or some custom guitars. But what we want to do is we want to brace each individual guitar. So let me show you older technology. You can see there's 4 stations for one operator. Ethan, how are you? And she'll take a top or a back. She'll put it on that metal plate. Put the template down as to what guitar it is, because each guitar has its own bracing pattern. She'll put the braces on it, and she'll pull the cover down, and a combination of heat and pressure of this bladder will hold and suck it down to even pressure. Now, what we learned during our challenges of pandemic, when everybody needed separation, we needed, and demand was so strong, we needed to figure out how to be more productive in this space. You know, you have one person doing 4 jobs. So our own tooling and die company changed it. Same idea, one operator. It's got a heated blank on the bottom. So everything you saw over there is the same, the bladder, everything else. But instead of walking down the line, they stay in there one thing, and that machine moves up and down to the size of the operator. So that operator's not moving like this. The machine will move up and down, so they always work at their height, but they're also here, and guess what we can do? We put another one there, and we can put another one there. So in the same footprint, we can be more efficient. And because we have our own machine shop, we can design it here. Very proud of that stuff. So once a top has got some bracing on it, this is where some of the hand shaping does. This is my friend Lauren here. Hi, Lauren. You can see that's got golden arrow bracing on it. You can tell because it's got the square tops on it. Just going to work that right down to where it's absolutely even with the top she's working on. And that chisel is Lauren's. In other words, it's not like when another craftsperson comes to work at the station, they bring their own. So she's got a sharpening stone right next to her bench. She knows how sharp she needs it to be for her style and strength. Whereas if you come down here and see Ethan, how you doing, Ethan? Same kind of thing. Nice little linen touch. People will never see that unless they have a mirror and they look underneath. But yeah. So same thing. You can see the difference on this top. This guy's working on a fully scalloped top. You can notice his pace is a little different. So he works individual. He knows what he can do at his pace.
That's the mulch I'm talking about.
There you go.
That's the mulch right
Thanks,
there.
Ethan.
Thank you, buddy.
So if you look on this side, we have a tree that has been growing like this for 100 years. It's been growing straight. And this is what it wants to do. And we want it to do this. It don't want to do that, right? It's natural. So I told you in the acclimating room, we take months and years to get wood to a certain level of moisture, and then we come over here and we dip it in a bucket of water, right? But obviously that's just a surface hydration. That'll sit in there for a little bit of time, and then they'll put them in these presses, and they're different shapes and sizes, right? You either have a dreadnought, you can see some cutaways. Having said that, even when they come out, you can see these hand benders, and this craftsman takes that spray bottle, and because when they come out, they still spring back to be straight.
Yeah.
So he'll spray it down, and he'll do some hand bending still to this day. And he knows how far to push it, because once you push it too much and it goes crack, throw it away. It's no good, right? So very, very important part. So you'll get 2 sides that come out of this group. And then we're going to go over this way. Let me hang these back up. 2 sides, and we want to put in a head block and a tail block. If you remember, I told you the serial number started all the way when we popped it. So now we know what kind of head block and tail block we got to put in here. And again, our own jigs, and the same kind of scenario. Obviously, this Craftsman is on break, but they'll take 2 sides. They'll put a tail block and a head block in it, glue it, clamp it, and then put it on the shelves. And what you're noticing here is there's always this constant time of, by the time I fill up the last one up here, the one that I glued up down on the bottom is ready to go. So I'm not slowed down on the curing process. I do my function here, put it on the drying rack, and I can stay consistent throughout the day. Once we have this completed, now we got to put these ribbons on so that there's more surface for the top and the back to connect to. And this is a very high tech. You may not be able to record this because the clamping procedure we have here is very, very top secret.
Okay. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. So you can see the ribbons being placed here. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
How are you?
Good.
So these ribbons were made down in our machine room as well. Regular piece of wood that has been split in half and kerfed.
Yep.
It makes it flexible. She's measuring it to the side. Those are the high-tech clamping devices that I told you are top secret.
Top secret.
Don't let anybody know about those
I will not.
You'll
say
have
a
to.
word.
You'll have to block this in the video.
I will.
Now, truth be told, we've tried. Right? We've gone out and we looked at different clamping devices, and the fact of the matter is, it's the perfect amount of pressure. Thank you. So now you got a body, right? They put them in a mold based on the size, whether it's a 00, whether it's a D, right? 14 fret. Based on the size, they get put into a frame, and we come to this area. So it takes a frame, gets a top, gets a back. That might be a 50th anniversary, a D50, yeah. D50? That's what I thought, yeah. That's Brazilian rosewood.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big old hunk of Brazilian. Look at that. Pretty.
Same thing. Tool and Die made this, right? But it's the same concept. You have some heat in there, you have some pressure, and all the glue will set for a period of time. And that machine works for his size. If tomorrow I had to work at this station, I clearly can't work there. So I would set the parameters, and that machine moves up and down because we're really worried about repetitive injury, right? Yeah. So that machine works to his size. In fact, if you look over here, you can see how that machine is even lower because that operator is not as tall as this young man here. The other side of this is a cutting head. He's going to cut a channel in that body so you can put some binding on it. And he's got to measure the exact distances, use the right cutting head, and lock it all together. He'll take the body behind him and he'll move the body around the cutting head, and all the dust will be sucked down that funnel and up and out.
It probably torques on the body.
It does. Yeah. It does. And it looks like he's only making a channel at the moment across the top. So first level sanding. This is not finished sanding. This is really just the first pass to get things close. We use this machine for the sides, and then you have a belt, and that table slides back and forth, and the operator knows just how much pressure to put down.
Yeah, the belt, yeah.
Yep.
That's a difficult job.
Oh yeah, they all are, but trust me. Yeah. So he's doing some first fit on a complex dovetail. But as I said, this building has two kinds of dovetails. We have a simple, we used to do mortise and tenon and complex dovetail, which is the big V, right? But now the simple dovetail looks like a mortise and tenon joint, but it's got the dovetail cut on it versus a straight cut. And we just believe it makes for a more secure, you know, body joint. At this point, since a neck's been made and a body's been made, they're in different parts of the factory. So you can see a serial number or even a QR code because they're going to go in different parts of the factory to get finished. And when they come back together, you got to make sure you put the right neck because this face has been shaped for that neck. Okay? It's not like you just grab one out of a bin and pop it in. We're doing some threading here. So what'll happen is he will put all the fret wire in, and then I'll put it in that machine, take his hands out, press a button, and that will come down and put the exact pressure so that makes sure the frets, you know, because again, if I'm working here and he's working here, if we relied on hammer, maybe I'm a little bit more aggressive than him or vice versa, and we want to make sure that it's consistent all the way through. Once they're done, we put them in this machine and the frets all get trimmed, but this will cut off all the and bevel the fret wire to be at the right angle. I showed you the bodies before, so here's the finish, right? So this is the same barcode scenario. These are the ones I'm telling you about. Look, this one's on a 0042. This is for a J40, but it's not just a J40, it's that J40, right? So now we're going to start finishing because we got everything completely on the build. So this is where we begin to finish sand before we go put our lacquer finishes on the guitars. So a couple of things you're going to see here. The guitars sit on a vacuum plate. And that pedestal will go up and down based on the desires of the craftsperson. This is a great example where this person decides they want to stand all day, and this individual decides he wants to sit all day. So that pedestal moves up and down based on the desires and the demands of the individual craftsman. When they think it's done, that gets passed on to the next department. The next department is the QC prospect. They'll look at that, and if they don't think it is right, it'll be passed back to that craftsperson. So the goal is, yes, he wants to do as much that he can do in a day. But if you do, I'm making the numbers up. If you do 20 in a day, but 5 come back, so it's a self-governing process. And he has the same right to do that with the like if this wasn't pre-sanded enough, he can kick that back as well. You can see all the handwork being done on the necks. This is a highly technical term we call shmoo. No, I call it shmoo, but it's filling. It's a mixture made with mahogany and a binder, and it is pressed into the pores of the wood. The reason for that, not only cosmetically, but is in the lacquer finishing. If we didn't fill those voids, the lacquer would sink, and you wouldn't get that glass finish that Martin is known for. So they put this in, and we'll videotape it when we come back to the other side. It's really dirty. They're wearing Tyvek suits and everything because it flies everywhere. However, it stains the binding, right? So these people meticulously clean binding and anything that would have been stained by the fill. This is where blank headstocks get the tuning machine holes drilled. Awesome, man.
Thank you, buddy.
So now we're in the finishing booth, and behind that beige wall, we're not going to go in there, but I'll let you look in the window. That's our spray booth. It's all self-contained, and what these folks are doing is first level sanding in between the coats. Depending upon the sheen, You could have as many as 3 or 4 layers of spray sand, spray sand, spray sand, buff. And some of it is also repair work in here as well. Well, it's empty, so it's not going to really show you anything, but you can see that those holes there, you bolt in a holder that holds a body or a neck, and it goes through, and there's a robot in there that meticulously sprays. So what's the benefit of a robot? The benefit of a robot, if you, Gavin and I, were both spraying, we may start and stop at a different time. You may go slow and I may go fast. It's precise. The start and stop of a spray, the speed of a spray, so that we're only putting product out of the gun that needs to be put out of a gun. And then that finish is consistent versus it would be good, but you did it one way and I did it the other. We've been more consistent. This is here over 20 years. Good morning. So now this is final sanding. The setups are exactly the same as pre-finish. They have a pedestal, it moves up and down. Good morning, how are you? Uh-oh, the yellow line police are gonna come after us. But what you're gonna see, like if you look here, these have been sprayed and they've been sanded. There's some high spots and some low spots, but they're gonna be finished again. So again, depending upon whether it's a satin finish or full gloss finish, depends on how many times it's sprayed and sanded. So if you look here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, you guys can see. You can see it still has some, what we call orange peel on the finish. All right? That's how you know it's not done. Because if this has to get another coat, they'll sand it. If this is done, they'll buff it. And either way, that orange peel will come out, will be a glass finish on top of that. So this is a fun part of the tour, because it could be one of the most important pieces of technology, but it just ain't sexy. Like when I show you all the CNC machines and you know all of the crazy technology, these 2 rooms have improved our throughput of nitrous lacquer finish. In that room, it's perfect conditions all the time. That allows the curing. So, you know, people ask me how many days does it take to make a guitar? You know, from front to back, maybe it takes 32 days. But this piece of it, you'd never know, because lacquer cures when lacquer cures, right? This room, and you'll see it more in the next room, makes the environment for curing perfect. If you look here, in between these guitar bodies, you can see this piece of paper. Look at this piece of paper right through here. See how it's moving? That's because if you look on the wall, there are dots. They're pushing a perfect amount of air through that room. So not only you have air, but you have the perfect environment for curing. Very quickly, this is the repair department. When you send your guitar back to Martin for its warranty repair, good morning. These are the group of craftspeople that take care of it. You got some polishing going on here. So if you ever look at factories, you know, 20 and 30 years ago, everybody that was polishing a guitar was at a buffing wheel that was at waist height. They're wearing a bib overall kind of thing, and they're rocking and rolling into the buffer all day. Can you imagine doing that job 8 hours a day? But the beauty of having a robot is we have 2 wheels that have 2 different cutting compounds, and that robot knows exactly how much pressure based on that guitar body to put on that guitar, so burnouts don't happen. And the wheel has a compound block on the top, so it's constantly putting the right amount of compound, and as that wheel wears away, as it will, it tells the computer I'm 2 millimeters shorter than I was yesterday morning. It knows to come forward. Look, we have buffing wheels here. We have buffing wheels here. We still have things that still require the human eye to take a look. That buffing wheel can probably get 99% of the buffing done, but if a craftsperson who's going to pass off that body is finished, doesn't like what the robot did, it's gonna do some last minute touch-ups on it themselves. You can get a little bit of the idea of what the spray booth looks like from here. We always like to remind people that if you're famous, it's likely you played a Martin. This was great during the Super Bowl. Post Malone, played. It was great. Vince Gill, everybody loves Vince. I mean, Chris's dad's heyday, the Woodstock Generation, iconic album. Story about Johnny Cash someday about the black guitar, that's pretty cool. And even some modern day players, everybody knows who this guy is. David Gilmour. Lost one of a big fan of ours, Jimmy Buffett, that's sad. Sting, Tracy Chapman. And the goal is to go down that wall as well with more. That fill operation, remember I told you how dirty it is?
Oh, yeah.
You can just see it, right? Every day they put paper down, and then once they work that filler into the bindings utilizing hand orbital sanders that don't have sandpaper, but they have a buffing wheel on them, and they push that mixture, that filler, into the pores. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is our purling department. Everything done by hand. The only downside is that this guy's an Eagle fan. That's really the only. Other than that, I love him to death. But look at him. Look at him. Think he's proud? Yeah, he reminds me every day. I'm a Giant fan, so he reminds me every day. This is the final assembly for necks. So you'll see craftspeople here. Again, every guitar has its own specs, right, for the neck. Tuning machines are different. They're not all the same. Whether it's a custom guitar or all the way down to a ukulele, right? So on the work order, he knows which ones to use. He's going to press the bushings in. Perfect amount of torque. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This is a bridge router. Okay. Guitars come all the way from finish. The top has a finish on the entirety of the guitar, and we have to route out the exact thickness of the material because we want to glue the bridge to wood, not on the top. So what will happen is the guitar will be placed in this machine. The machine will do its measurements, and based on the size and shape of the bridge, it'll cut it in to be the exact depth. So now what do we got? We have a guitar that's glued together, and the top's going to be glued on. Now what do we got to do? We got to do some final assembly. We'll go talk to another friend of mine. Again, another Eagle fan. Place is loaded. Can't understand why. We're only in Pennsylvania. This is kind of the end of the road. What these guys are going to do, if you notice above each workstation, they have a great set of lights. They look at the finish of the entire guitar. Is the guitar blemish free, right? If they believe it's blemish free, what they're going to do now is then they're going to put strings on the guitar. Every guitar is strung up with a Martin set of strings. You see, he protects the top. He also is going to cut in the nut. He'll put a set of strings on it. If it's got electronics, he'll plug it in, make sure the electronics work. He's going to play that guitar, make sure intonation is great, make sure everything is right, and he's going to say, this guitar is good. He then puts it in a case, puts a plastic bag around it, and it goes on that rack on the far wall. And we hold the guitars there for let's just say a set number of days. It's an industry secret.
4 days. Got it.
4 days. The exact same inspection is done by someone else out here. They'll take the guitar, because we have found that if anything's going to go materially wrong with the guitar, it's going to happen within that 4 days. So another final inspector will take the guitar out and do the same inspection. Put it up under the light, how's the finish, play the guitar, make sure that the electronics work, and after 2 people say it's good to go, then I get it. I get to sell it. Every guitar in this factory is plecked. And these are, I think we got 4 or 6 You know, this is why we're very, very proud that when we talk to our partners, they're saying that right out of the box, Martin guitars are the best they've been in a very long time. It's because every guitar is plex. So what does a plex machine do? It puts string tension on the guitar, and then it measures fret height. And it does grinding or not based on that. And then these guys will do a polish on it, and then the guitar goes over to final assembly. When we first started the tour, we were at that railing over there, and I told you we'd be able to look down. Now you just get a better look at the CNC machines. So that CNC machine can cut 3 necks at a time, 6 in a total setup. It's got 3 cutting heads, moves over, does another 3. So as that's cutting the other 3, he's setting up the other 3. All rework cards must be signed. Everybody owns their work. Everybody owns their work. Everything I've showed you is our production plant. And very quickly, I'm just going to show you the custom shop plant. Same things happen here in the custom shop. Ribbons are glued, utilizing the same technology. Braces are put on using the same technology. Cutting in slots and gluing on tops and backs uses the same technology. The only difference is these guys are in the custom shop. So this is a factory within a factory, and this area predominantly does everything that has hide glue, because that takes a different level of training and a different level of skill. It's just a factory within a factory. Thanks, Chris. Shaping the neck. Complex dovetail, making sure it fits tight. Tolerances are exact. Getting ready to glue that. Utilizing a high-tech clamp.
That's right.
Right? A lot of custom guitars have custom necks. Shaping. How you doing, man?
Cool. That is sweet.
Yeah, that was brand new yesterday. He destroyed that in one day. No, I'm kidding. How long has that been there before you, right? Mikey was using that one, right?
Yeah.
It's a couple of years.
Probably people before. I hear different numbers all the time. It's anyone's guess.
We're gonna make it up. We're gonna make it up.
I say, some people say 70, some people say 50, some say 80.
All right.
I don't know, so I stick around the 70 ballpark.
There you go. So what happens
I
is
just hit it up here.
he hits it right. He hits that to clear the sawdust out of the file. So you can, just by that logic, you can imagine how many necks have been shaped on that.
Wait, how many years? How old do we think this is?
Again,
70.
Some say 70, some say 80. Some
Look,
say
they even put it back together because it cracked.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I typically hit around that upper area now. Lighter hits.
But look at this. All of this has been cut out.
You can feel it.
Gnarly. Wait, what? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely good in there. There's some moments where I get some tough ones and I can see it shaking. I'm like, please.
And yeah. Don't break on my watch.
Yeah.
Don't break on my watch.
I don't need that.
Instrument's retired. You gotta have like a party.
We're gonna put it in the museum.
No, for real.
No lie. You saw the Pearl department. This is like what we always joke and say, this is the Pearl department on steroids, because Chris is like a graphic designer. Chris has been in the custom shop as long as I've been working here. So he knows every aspect of construction of the guitar, but now he's doing custom inlay work, utilizing graphic arts and 2 shop bots to give us, you can cross over the line here, to give us things like this. Wow. If you dream it, we'll do it. And one of our custom shop craft person, her name is Emily, God bless her soul. She's no longer with us, but she was involved in the designing of how we did this wood inlay. And as you can see, that shading, that's done with heated sand. And the darker the shading, the longer you left it in this heated sand. It's just amazing. Wow. So this is a combination of wood inlay and pearl inlay. It's just crazy. So when you guys are upstairs designing guitars later this afternoon, please make it as intricate as possible so Chris has something to do. Same thing here, final assembly of custom guitars. Same thing, same process. They have the lights, they look for finishes, they do some last minute tune-ups and touch-ups on the guitars. They'll string them up, they'll play them for sound, they'll be put in a case with a bag on it, and then so many days later, somebody else will do that. And if it doesn't pass, it goes through the same process again. That's the custom shop factory within a factory. That's the tour, my man.
All right, so right now we are obviously picking woods, but there was a guitar that I saw when we just did the tour. It turns out it was like flats on mahogany, but it had a ton of character, like a cathedral kind of pattern on the top. So can't really replicate that, of course, because it's wood and it's natural, but we're trying to find something that has a ton of movement on the top. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so this is the quilted mahogany flat sawn. Dang.
That's more interesting.
Yeah, no, it's killer.
We were looking at before, yeah.
So this, like that one that I saw on the shop floor that's what was going on with it, why it stood out.
Yeah.
I would love to build something like this, but you're thinking that it would be more of an OM. Probably couldn't get a dread out of it.
In order to do it the correct way, yes. I mean, both of those can be dreads individually, but because of the angles of the piece, in order to make it a top back, you should get that dark green line to match up, and now you're shrinking the piece. So we would have to
You would
manipulate
want to do
that.
an all mahogany on something like this?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I
OM
think
would be the way to do that anyway.
I think so.
They're milled right one right on top of the other, I assume.
Dang.
But like I said, because of the angle, to get that dark green line to match up, it's
good.
Shorten the piece, so we would have to manipulate and make sure we can get the triple O pattern on there.
All right, so right now we were trying to figure out how we could join these.
Yeah, we could do this. I mean, this would be on a slight angle, but this would actually capture more. This would actually capture more of the figure out here anyway.
Yep.
And then, yeah, once you can make that, then you can do the same thing over here.
All right, cool. So here's some more flat sawn quilt mahogany. So we've got that one that we're definitely gonna book.
Not much, you would.
It doesn't have the same like intense. This one has a little more of it. You can feel.
Yeah, this is really pretty.
Yeah.
You can
It is
tell.
beautiful wood.
I went out for dinner.
Yeah.
I really like what's happening over here on the upper bout,
Yeah.
on the treble side.
That's wild. All right, so right now we are checking out maple. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, these three are.
That's really fine. That's cool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
We're gonna use a gallon of that stuff.
That's really cool.
That one's pretty good.
I like that. I'm curious about this one because
I got three
yeah,
bottles, so he's only on bottle one. We're
That looks really good, but then it's kind of.
this looks like you're
Guys
flying
in the
all
middle.
over Colorado. You know, where it's like, oh, there's some of the mountains, and then there's nothing but flat land
It is
here.
really interesting right here, and it tightens up in whatever was happening that year. Look how tight
Yeah,
for 5
Wow.
years there.
That is incredible.
super.
Wow, I really like this piece of wood. Honestly, that's one of my favorites. God, the top, look how three-dimensional that is.
Yeah, it's really those both.
That looks crazy.
I don't. Yeah, that one doesn't look as nice. Yeah, it does. That's cool.
Oh, it does. Yes, it does smell sweet.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Oh, it smells like baby powder. It smells like a,
It's almost like a barbershop smell.
yeah. All right, standard grade Brazilian rosewood, extraordinarily expensive. Oh man. Oh man. All right, when I win the lotto, we're building a bunch of these. Wow. Oh, it's beautiful. Dang. There we go. Wild grain East Indian rosewood.
Have to pick a different. Okay.
That's so cool. It's pretty.
We're definitely going to use, a handful of pieces of rosewood. So don't be shy if there's one you guys love to set.
I mean, let's check that out.
check this one out?
Yeah.
This one's gonna get pretty dark.
Yeah.
It's also porous.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's drying pretty quickly.
Wow. I think we should set this aside.
So this set,
This.
Did you guys like end up like that?
Yeah, I
that
think.
set was gorgeous.
Yeah, this. Yeah, I would set these two aside. Yeah.
And I think you might be surprised with, and this one. You might be surprised with this one. And this one.
That one is probably gonna be cool.
When I see this one.
Yeah. Man, I hope that maintains its figure. It doesn't get. Yeah, it's going to.
Yep.
It will. Yeah, we definitely want this one. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, wow. Especially when it hits the bottom bout.
Yep. Oh yeah. Especially through this camera, you can see
Yep.
how blonde it stays there. It's cool. I love that you guys use NAFTA. That's the best. All wild.
Oh my goodness. This is.
Wow, that's beautiful.
We're gonna be putting some.
If this is not a keeper for you, this is going to be a keeper for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we definitely want it.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, look at where it
This,
gets down there, right down
how
there.
it's like spiraling is so cool.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. You can see it how
Yeah?
it's. That's stunning.
That's like a heartbeat. Look at that bad boy. Oh my goodness.
That's cool.
It's like scalloped.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
That's pretty. Yeah, we would want that too.
Yeah.
See, actually, you know what? I wonder what that yellow will do.
You wonder what this one's going to do?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Unless it gets like.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
That's actually really.
Dang, that is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
That's pretty cool. Don't you guys
That,
think?
like green, yellow.
Yeah.
That's
It's beautiful.
rare.
Yeah, because a lot of times that gets dark.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
This is beautiful.
We want that.
Yeah, I don't blame
Sold.
you. I was just curious to see what that looked like.
Extreme those lines are.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
really different from the other ones.
Get another bottle out.
Jamie's got my backup right here.
That's badass.
Heck yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I mean totally different than the other ones. with
That's
the
so
Yeah.
good.
hard lines.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's yeah.
That's pretty.
It's a struggle. You can, it's just not as easy. So
Wow.
that's the thing with wild grain, you're getting a color match. Is basically all you're getting.
Got it.
That's what I was gonna say. It's more matching for the color.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's,
That's interesting.
Killer. All right.
So this is your Honduran, which you can also get a 0012 out of this as well.
For some reason it was in my book.
All right.
This
Engelman.
is Engelman, not Sitka.
Engelman Bear Claw.
Yeah, I mean they all look great.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to catch, but Engelman Bear Claw.
Dan, flip
Oh,
it
yeah,
towards
yeah.
us a little bit. There you go. There you go. See, Dan, you're a pro at this.
Actually, that's pretty cool.
I'm multitasking.
Maybe.
All right, so this is Sitka Bear Claw.
Ooh.
Wow, this one is a good one.
That's
Yeah.
cool. All right, we'll take that because everyone made that reaction. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yes.
I mean,
We're taking-
just take it. This almost has a
I
cedary
was
look
gonna say,
to
This
it.
one, and the beauty of this one is if you notice that, that's going to be cut out with the stone hole.
Okay.
So that's, wow, this one's gorgeous.
Baston walnut.
Yep,
Baston walnut. That's crazy. That's beautiful.
that is
Okay.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Okay, well, we want this. That's really beautiful.
this is beautiful.
Wow.
Joe, this reminds me of Christmas. Just kidding.
Don't cry.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I know the feeling.
There you go.
Gorgeous.
Looks like a ghost. Little eyes. Here's the thing. And then it's got, I don't know what. I don't know. It's a ghost with dimples. How's that?
Maybe it's got some slippers on. I don't know.
A ghost with slippers.
Yeah, there we go.
Slippery ghost. Wow, that's cool.
I like that one just as much or more.
I really like this one too.
It doesn't have that knot spot on the upper.
Yeah.
That other one was really,
that one.
it has more variety in color, it seems, or darker hues.
Yep.
Why don't we just get them both? Everybody, and when I say morning, I mean morning. It's 4:25 a.m. and I am about to head to the airport to get on a plane to get back to sweet home Chicago. It has been a killer week of handpicking woods at two of our greatest builders and manufacturers of guitars, PRS and Martin. I would say that of all the places I go, their wood selections are just, they're outstanding. I mean, they're world class, they're exceptional, but they're very different. It's interesting. You know, last week I was at Gibson handpicking wood. That's a different experience than being at PRS, and the same is true for being at Martin. But nonetheless, all three of them are incredible. Anyway, I hope this was cool for you. I appreciate you hanging out on the journey. I always love visiting our builders. I always love meeting the great people who make up these companies that we love, because they are companies made of people. We are very fortunate because it's a small group of folks. Like, the guitar community is very small. It's very, very small, especially when it comes to building guitars and playing guitar. I mean, heck, I bet a bunch of people who, you know, a bunch of you all who are on this channel probably know each other, you just don't know it. So, anyhow, we're one of the last analog things in this world, and I love every part of it. So, thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Thank you so much for sticking around on the journey, and I will see you on the next one.